Jeffrey Dahmer walking into court. Jeffrey Dahmer walking in all sexy in court.
Persistent substance abuse has the potential to exacerbate pre-existing mental health symptoms. This occurs as the intricate balance of brain chemistry is disrupted by the substances, giving rise to a range of effects that can significantly impact an individual's psychological state. One notable consequence is the alteration of perception, whereby the distorted influence of drugs on neural pathways can lead to a skewed interpretation of reality. This altered perception can create a psychological environment where individuals might find it easier to disconnect from the emotional weight of their actions, ultimately contributing to behaviors that would typically evoke significant emotional responses. The impact of substance abuse on empathy is crucial to consider. With substances altering brain function, individuals may experience a reduction of their capacity to empathize with others. This diminished empathy can foster a sense of detachment from the emotions and experiences of those around them, potentially allowing for objectification of others, a cognitive shift that views individuals as objects rather than fellow human beings. This objectification can further contribute to the willingness to engage in harmful behaviors, as the inherent empathy that often inhibits such actions becomes blunted. Impaired decision-making is a hallmark of the interaction between substance abuse and mental health. Disrupted brain chemistry can hinder an individual's ability to make rational choices and foresee the consequences of their actions. This impaired decision-making can lead individuals down paths they might not have considered under sober or balanced circumstances, increasing the likelihood of engaging in risky or harmful behaviors. Methamphetamine, a powerful stimulant, can significantly impact an individual's mental state and behavior. Chronic meth use can lead to alteration of brain chemistry, resulting in changes to mood, impulsivity, and decision-making. Methamphetamine can exacerbate existing mental health conditions and contribute to the development of new psychological symptoms. Drug-induced psychosis is a well-documented phenomenon, characterized by hallucinations, delusions, and impaired reality testing. Individuals experiencing meth-induced psychosis might exhibit behaviors that are bizarre, violent, or detached from reality. Substance abuse may not directly shape the heinous acts committed, but rather it sheds light on the unusual and deficient reactions after a crime, as reality sinks in. Do you have a passion for sharing captivating stories? Have you ever considered launching your own podcast or channel to bring content to life? Or maybe you are already an established content creator looking to increase your efficiency. If so, today's sponsor is a game changer for both current and aspiring content creators like you. Meet Auvi, the ultimate voiceover cleanup solution tailored for content creators. Auvi revolutionizes your content creation process, making it seamless and efficient. All you need to do is upload your raw audio file to Auvi's platform, and their state-of-the-art AI technology will work its magic. Auvi effortlessly removes pauses, duplicate words, and other imperfections, delivering perfect audio every time. And the best part is that it's free to try. I have personally used Auvi and can confirm that it is a game changer. Making videos has never been easier. With Auvi, you can focus on what truly matters, researching, scripting, and narrating the enthralling stories that keep your audience on the edge of their seats. Let Auvi handle the technical side of things so you can unleash your creativity. Visit auvi.ai to learn more and experience the magic of flawless audio. Link in the description below. Now let's dive back into the video. Taylor Schabusiness is born in Chicago on November 23, 1997, into a family that soon struggles with personal issues. While she's in 4th grade, the family makes the decision to move to Wisconsin, where she grows up attending public school. Her mother, Marla, battles cirrhosis and alcoholism and eventually succumbs to the diseases in 2009. Meanwhile, her father continues to live and she remains close to her extended family in the Green Bay area. In Wisconsin, Taylor's schooling is turbulent. By her senior year, she gets into a fight with another student and is expelled. Unfazed, she moves to Texas to live with her paternal grandparents, completing her education there. As early as 7th grade, she starts receiving mental health treatment for issues such as attention, concentration, and behavior problems in school. Diagnosed with presumed ADD, For ADHD, she is medicated with a mood stabilizer, an antidepressant, and an antipsychotic. By the age of 18, she makes the decision to wean herself off these medications. Taylor meets a man named Warren, and they marry and have a child together. Presently, their child is 2 years old, and Warren is incarcerated. His days spent behind cold bars, and his nights haunted by the choices that have led him here. He's serving time for illegal substance charges, a dark path that has snatched him away from his family's embrace. Yet hope gleams in Warren's eyes. He hopes to be released by January 2024. Taylor's father, too, is confined behind prison walls, adding another layer of complexity to her emotional landscape. However, his charges are of a different, more troubling nature, having been found guilty of inappropriate relations with children. Taylor's struggles continue into adulthood. After attempting suicide in April and May 2021, Taylor is hospitalized. Her diagnosis expands to include PTSD and bipolar disorder, in addition to severe depression, ADD, and ADHD. The dark complexities of her life come into focus with a criminal complaint from a 2020 incident. One night, Taylor is found walking in the middle of the street, allegedly under the influence of narcotics and behaving bizarrely. When police respond to calls about a woman knocking on doors, she tells them she's, quote, not sure and on a different planet right now, end quote. The track marks on her arms and her admission to just shooting up are only part of the evidence of her struggles. The situation escalates when she attempts to walk into oncoming traffic, allegedly kicking at officers trying to prevent her from doing so. This incident results in charges of battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting arrest, and paints a picture of a life filled with turmoil. Taylor's life is marked by both connections and disconnections. She maintains a bond with Shad Thyrion, a good friend from high school and someone with whom she's once shared an intimate relationship. They dated for a couple of years during those formative times, and while life has moved them in different directions, they have stayed in touch every now and again. With Taylor's husband incarcerated, Shad becomes more than just a memory from the past. He becomes a present comfort. They find solace in each other's company, indulging in substance abuse and engaging in an ongoing physical relationship that goes beyond ordinary boundaries. They challenge and sometimes cross their own limits, exploring intense relations that border on harmful. While many who engage in such acts set out specific boundaries to avoid going too far, Taylor and Shad find themselves consumed by these moments. It's February 2022, and the night takes on an ominous hue. Taylor and Shad go over to his mother's house. In pursuit of privacy and freedom, they descend to the basement, a space they've turned into a playground for their adventurous escapades. Toys and chains are not unfamiliar to them. They've become instruments in their game. But on this fateful night, something changes. Taylor's role of domination, previously tempered by unspoken rules, intensifies. The night grows dark, and Taylor crosses a line, taking her control too far. The echoes of their past resonate in that basement, intertwining with the present moment and casting a shadow over their relationship. What once was a source of comfort now teeters on the edge of danger. The boundaries they've challenged are now broken, leaving them to confront the consequences of a night that went beyond even their own limits. In the dimly lit basement, Taylor and Shad's games takes a darker turn. A chain dog collar is placed around Shad's neck, restricting his airflow. Though outsiders may find this shocking, for them, this act is considered foreplay, an allegedly consensual part of their intimate relationship. They've explored these boundaries before, each knowing and accepting the agreed-upon limits. But tonight, something goes terribly wrong. Taylor sees blood coming from Shad's mouth, a sign that their play has gone too far. His face turns an alarming shade of purple, a silent cry for the game to stop. A rational observer might expect panic, immediate intervention, or at least the end of the night's activities. An accident, perhaps, given their intimate preferences. Yet for Taylor, this horrifying moment is not an end, but a beginning. Seizing this opportunity, she chooses to play out her darkest fantasies. The limits that once defined their relationship are now shattered, replaced by a chilling escalation that transcends their previous understanding. Later, in a sterile interrogation room, Taylor will recount the events of that night and her thoughts about her actions. Her voice, chillingly casual, will reveal what took place in that basement, painting a vivid and unsettling picture of a relationship that spiraled into something far more sinister. Take note that she says she doesn't remember anything about the night in question. However, as we will hear, she recalls in great detail what she did as the interrogation progresses. Taylor's language is interesting in that she says things such as, "I didn't want him to die, actually," as if she's acknowledging that there is a reality in which she would want him dead.
Can you tell me what happened?
A good question, because I blacked out during that time. But, I need time to,
No problem. Take your time, have some water. And what would you guys like to do? Is there a certain role playing that you did with Shad? Or was it just some sort of strangulation? How would you guys do your, basically have sex? But does anybody like strangle the other person?
I like doing that a lot.
Alright, so you like being strangled, like having your airway, or do you like doing it to somebody else?
I like doing it to somebody else.
Does Shad like to be strangled during sex? Have you done it before with him?
Yeah, he does. He likes it.
Have you used what we call props in the past?
Yes.
What size? Was it like a dog chain or a large lock type of chain? You
They're
know what
like
I'm saying?
this big. O-ring.
Mhm. Silver chains. And he had two. What did you guys do with them?
He put them around their neck.
You did. And then what were you doing while they were around their necks?
I was strangling.
You were strangling them. So, did you want Shad to be dead?
No, it was out of random. Like, I wasn't expecting that, and it kind of threw me off guard. And it was in an open place, like, you went in the basement, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty open.
I haven't done it, but is it?
Yes. We launched onto the bed. We went from the stairs to the bed, and then, yeah.
With poor clothes on and all.
Yeah, no good.
But before you chain went around his neck, were you and Chad like kissing or any foreplay or anything?
No, we were chilling at home.
You just chilling. So all of a sudden the chain went around his neck?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get it.
He likes it. I was gonna walk him like a dog.
You know, and he wanted that?
I have no idea what I was gonna do it anyway.
And you're claiming it was his idea? With the chain?
No, it was his idea. It was all him.
The chain goes around his neck and you start choking him. And you just realized that he was going to die or what?
I'm just like, shit. I think I went a little too far, because I was blacking out while I was doing it, right? And then and then I look at him, I'm like, shit, he's already purple. I'm like, fuck, I'm like, I don't know if he's fucking, is he good? Is he good? But then when I woke up, during the blackout moment, I'm like, shit. Like, he was coughing up blood. I'm like, I don't know, I just kept on going.
You made the comment, you said that when you were choking, you was coughing up blood, you kind of were like, well, going this far, I'm just going to keep going. Did you realize that by continuing that may kill him?
Like, yeah, because I felt bad because I'm like, damn, he's going to be using that for this.
So you realized that by continuing that you may actually kill him?
I swear to God, he was telling me just so I'm like, wow, and I did it.
Okay. And you also said that you enjoyed it, right? You enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. What did you really like? Was it kind of thrilling, rush, exciting? What was the feeling that you got out of it?
In the middle of questioning, Taylor claims that she has a vision or flashback. She starts to describe her vision and what she remembers from the night.
It's weird. I got like a weird flashback. Yeah, it's short. It was real short.
And what did you see?
Just I don't even know anymore. Like it was weird. I was riding him like a donkey. Okay, and then like I think so. I think that's what was happening. Falling and then I don't know.
Were you two being intimate, having sex?
It was getting there.
Just getting there. So will this be considered foreplay?
Yeah. And then I don't know. And then I just didn't stop. I don't know why. I didn't stop.
In the wake of the night's transgressions, Taylor's mind drifts into a dark and unsettling place. As she realizes the extent of what she has done, a strange inspiration strikes her. This, she decides, is her moment to mimic her idol, Jeffrey Dahmer. The fascination with Jeffrey isn't new. It's a twisted fascination that has been growing within her for quite some time. There's a physical connection she feels towards the very idea of him, an allure not only to his physique, but also to his cruel actions. The image of him haunts her thoughts, mingling with fantasy and desire. Her longing for Jeffrey is so intense that she even pulls up an image of him on her phone. Lying on her bed with the digital image beside her, she imagines herself with him, lost in a world where reality and her dark fantasies blur into one. As her story unfolds, it is clear that this fascination is not confined to her private thoughts. We will hear a detective's testimony outline some of Taylor's search history, bringing her love for Jeffrey Dahmer into the cold light of the courtroom.
The extraction from Ms. Schabusiness's phone.
Yes.
And specifically as it relates to February 12th of 2022 and February 13th of 2022, did you note anything, was there anything noteworthy with respect to searches?
Objection relevancy to that question.
Overruled. Go ahead and answer if you can.
Yes, she searched Jeffrey Dahmer. And then she searched cadaver definition, Jeff Boyardee, blow-up doll customized face.
In particular, Jeffrey Dahmer, did you note that there were several searches that were related to Dahmer?
Objection relevancy.
Overruled. Go ahead and answer.
Can you repeat your question?
Were there several searches related to Jeffrey Dahmer and other items on the device that were consistent with Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yes. The searches that I had referenced earlier, Jeffrey Dahmer, Jeff Boyardee, Jeffrey Dahmer's butt, Jeffrey Dahmer walking into court, Jeffrey Dahmer walking in all sexy in court.
Taylor's private yearnings and disturbing fantasies are public, a part of the complex puzzle that is Taylor's life and psyche. The lines she has crossed are no longer just physical, but have delved into a place where admiration becomes obsession, where the boundaries of morality and desire are lost. After Taylor is aware of Shad's state, she begins her Jeffrey Dahmer exploration. She starts by giving oral and using toys on Shad's body. Once done with the body, she decides that leaving him as is not an option. She grabs kitchen knives and dismembers Shad. As the details unfold, it becomes clear that Taylor's recounting of the events during her interrogation is anything but ordinary. Her detached tone and casual demeanor cast an eerie shadow over the gravity of her actions. In her retelling, Taylor's words flow with an unsettling nonchalance, almost as if she's recounting mundane tasks from her daily routine. This stark contrast between the gruesome nature of her crime and her composed narration creates a dissonance that leaves listeners unnerved. It's as if she's discussing the weather or sharing a grocery list, rather than describing the unfolding of a horrendous sequence of events. What's more disconcerting is the occasional laughter that punctuates her retelling. Her giggles, seemingly out of place in this context, serves to further distance her from the emotional weight of her actions. As we listen to Taylor's chilling account, it becomes evident that her demeanor is not just a matter of detached storytelling. It's a window into the intricate workings of her psyche. The seemingly casual tone and intermittent laughter offers a glimpse into the inner turmoil she may be experiencing, leaving a complexity that extends beyond the surface of her words. Taylor expresses that her affection is intense, and she desires to maintain a close bond with the people she cares about. She connects this profound love to her actions that caused harm to Shad. She draws a parallel to the sensation of adoring a child so intensely that you're compelled to squeeze them tightly.
This is the thing that I have, like, I've always had, you know, like, you ever love something so much that you kill it? Like, it happens to me. That's the feeling that I have. I love something so much that I kill it. Like, I love it so much, and then I kill it. That's what happens to me. So,
Alright, so he dies, he's dead. And then you just continue with his body. Okay. And when you decided to, how long did you play with his body?
2 or 3 hours.
Is that also when you used the dildo? Did you have sex with his body at all? At any point, or any type of sexual contact? You know, obviously the dildo and stuff, but.
I grind it on, I put the dick.
You grind it on?
Yeah.
Did you ever put his penis? Did you grind on it?
Yeah. And then, he was like half hard while I was still sucking while he was dead.
For playing with him, or?
That is part of playing with him.
That was part of playing with him.
Actually, I was severing his head while I was doing that too with him.
So it was only a couple hours before you severed his head? Did you fall asleep at any point in time, or he was dead already? Was his head still on?
No, I put that on. That was the first thing I took off.
Okay. When was the next his body?
I didn't even. And then, the rest of his body, I don't even know what it is. It's in a big blue container, you know?
Just a container?
Tupperware. It's like a big Tupperware. It's not a Tupperware, but it's a Tupperware. Tupperware container, like a
Big storage tank.
So that's where the body parts are in? Or I thought they're in a black bag.
They are. They're.
Some both, probably. But when did you start, cutting up his body?
Like almost right away. I was sucking and cutting it.
Then what about the rest of his body parts? Did that take all day to do?
I was getting pissed off at the dismemberment.
Taylor provides a detailed account of dismembering Shad. With the assistance of the detectives, she recites the events, displaying no hesitancy in recalling her actions. Taylor narrates her experiences, devoid of the emotional or repulsed reactions that most individuals might experience, or at the very least, fake to elicit sympathy. Taylor places some of the body parts in a crock-pot box in her minivan, including a leg and an arm, then places his head in a bucket. The bucket is left at Shad's mother's house. Her intention behind taking these body parts along isn't to hide the crime, but rather stems from a wish to maintain a connection with Shad. This sentiment is apparent from her emotional response to the body parts and her demeanor when she recalls leaving his head at his mother's house.
Exactly how did you dismember Shad?
Nice.
Did you cut arms, or was it just internal organs, or?
So you started on the head, right?
Yeah, and then
Did you cut it, or did you remove his arms? Okay, can you show me where you would cut out the arms? Right, the elbows, was this part of the arm left on?
I would hope so. Because like I was saying that dismemberment process I did was like really messed up because like I was nodding out. And then I was like sawing it off.
Did
Did you use just a knife?
Just when I was like,
did you remove any part of his, did you dismember his legs at all? What was you on the ones?
I think there's one leg that's actually intact. And then maybe.
But when you took off his head, was he lying on, or was he someplace else?
I had his head hanging off.
The mattress.
And then I was fine.
Underneath his head.
I don't know, it just dropped in there.
What's that?
It just dropped in there after I got the bone.
Shad's mother senses an unusual tension in the air, with a feeling that something isn't quite right. She makes her way towards the bathroom, her heart beating a little faster. As she steps inside, her gaze falls upon an unexpected sight, a bucket covered with a towel. Intrigued and growing increasingly concerned, she lifts a towel that's draped over the bucket. What she sees sends a shockwave through her. Her son's head is stuffed within the bucket. The world seems to pause for a moment as the gravity of the situation sinks in. She goes into complete shock. Shad's mother's boyfriend calls the police on her behalf. He explains the unsettling discovery she claims to witness. Her boyfriend is confused and is struggling to process the events. We will hear the boyfriend's frustrated and confused 911 call. It's such an unbelievable discovery that the dispatcher even questions Shad's mother's mental state.
And that she hears the phone down there too.
Okay, is she with you right now?
Yes, she's upstairs. She's all freaked out, and I don't know what to do.
Okay, all right, stay on the line. And you said you went down there, correct?
Yeah, and I lifted the towel, but I can't see very well, and I can't tell what the hell it is.
So there's something in the bucket.
There's something in the goddamn bucket there.
Okay.
If she won't look again, I don't know what the hell, man.
Do you think she's hallucinating, or do you think that...
I don't think so. I went down and there's something in the damn bucket. I don't know, man. She's a little freaked out and kind of freaking me out.
While on the 911 call, Shad's mother speaks to the dispatcher as well to answer further questions. She is momentarily repressing what she just witnessed and speaks with such composure given the circumstances. This highlights her state of shock and denial she is in during the initial call.
And then when I turned around to come back upstairs, there was a 5-gallon bucket with a towel over it. And I'm like, oh great, that's why they're out here all day yesterday, they were pissing in a bucket. And I looked, and that is not what was in that bucket. Pretty positive my son's head is in a bucket, 5-gallon bucket in my basement.
What makes you think that?
Because I looked in the bucket.
And what did you see?
Exactly what I told you.
Okay, where's the rest of the body at?
No idea.
And, I mean, you're sure it couldn't be like a fake head or something?
I'm not touching it. I'm not looking at it again.
Okay.
The police arrive at Shad's mother's house. Tension thick in the air as they step through the front door. With cautious steps, they descend the creaky staircase leading to the basement. Their flashlights cut through the darkness, revealing an eerie scene. As they approach a corner, the beam of light falls upon a bucket, its contents obscured by a towel draped over the top. Heartbeats quicken as they pull back the towel, revealing the gruesome discovery: Shad's severed head, chilling evidence of the horrors that have unfolded. The room is heavy with silence, broken only by the collective inhale of shocked officers as reality sinks in. Taylor was arraigned on charges of first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and third-degree sexual assault. Taylor pleaded not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect, Wisconsin's version of an insanity plea. The responsibility then lay with the defense to convince the jury she didn't know right from wrong at the time of the crime. During the trial, Taylor's mental health history was reviewed, including involuntary commitment and medication orders from 2021, as well as school records showing issues dating back to kindergarten. Her outpatient psychiatric counseling for ADHD and depression between ages 7 and 14, followed by antidepressant use and a 3-day inpatient stay at 14 due to suicidal thoughts, delusions, hallucinations, and depression are highlighted. Even after discharge, a mood disorder with residual paranoia was diagnosed. The jail interviews revealed Taylor's nonverbal behavior, chair throwing, and later physical attacks on her attorney. During another session, Taylor exhibited signs of psychosis, including auditory and visual hallucinations and memory gaps. Taylor also recounted being controlled and abused by her husband. Cross-examination brought up conflicting reports on bipolar diagnosis and meth use. A state expert psychologist questioned her bipolar diagnosis due to drug use and noted inconsistencies and exaggerated symptoms. They expressed concerns about the reliability of her symptoms, giving contradictory claims. Despite contradictory competency evaluations each time, the judge ruled Taylor competent for trial, revealing the complex layers of mental health evaluation in the legal process. Taylor has been shooting up about 9 times a day for months. Under state law, voluntary drug use that leads to criminal actions does not qualify as a mental disease or defect. Interestingly, among the cases that we have covered regarding pleas of insanity, she seems to have had a potential opportunity for this plea, considering her apparent lack of supposed understanding that her actions were wrong. Instead of concealing the body outright, she distributes its parts in unconventional places, which seems to be more of a game to her. Also, her responses during the interrogation unveils her nonchalant attitude toward the offense. However, it's worth noting that the influence of drugs might be suppressing her emotional connections to the crimes, creating the illusion that she isn't fully cognizant of her wrongdoing. Whether it be from mental disorders or substance abuse, it is interesting to reflect back on many of her facial responses to situations that were happening during trial. Her facial reactions are not what you would expect of someone standing trial for such a horrendous crime. These facial reactions are during the moments that the court revealed the most horrendous parts of her crime to the courtroom. Substance use and mental health can interact in complex ways. Substance abuse might exacerbate pre-existing mental health conditions, and the co-occurrence of substance use and mental health can result in a cycle of worsening symptoms and impulsive behaviors. In Taylor's case, the combination of fantasies, desensitization, methamphetamine use, and potential mental illness could have formed a perfect storm that contributed to her ability to commit the crime without displaying the typical emotional reactions one might expect. Her substance abuse didn't directly shape the heinous acts she committed. Instead, it sheds light on her unusual and deficient reactions afterward. Ultimately, the human mind is incredibly complex, and understanding the motives and psychological processes behind such actions requires a nuanced exploration of multiple factors, both internal and external. Do you think Taylor's crimes were premeditated or impulsive? What do you think ultimately led her down this gruesome path? If you want to watch ad-free and uncensored versions of all Wicked videos, feel free to join our Patreon, link in the description. We want to give a big shout out to Nexus, Big Pepperoni Pizza, Chrissy R, Catherine D, Tony S, Tiffany D, and Dulce P. Thank you for watching, and join us next time when we explore the psychological maze of some of the most wicked people.